feels to us, from everything we've seen, that there was a need that you felt that you had to justify banning these fans, and that scraping was done to find a reason.
Right. Well, that's absolutely not the case. I'm really sorry if it comes across in that way. That was absolutely not the case. The information, the intelligence that we received, that we documented, and we've shared absolutely all of that with HMIC FRS very, very recently, was all gone through. The mistake that was made in terms of the West Ham was one individual doing one Google search because he couldn't find the reference because it wasn't there within the system. But can I...
It absolutely wasn't. So we were very clear that there was a huge degree of consternation from the community around the arrival of Maccabi Tel Aviv, and that as a direct result of that concern, we got a lot of information and intelligence to suggest that people were going to actively seek out Maccabi Tel Aviv fans and would seek violence towards them. So we had sort of like a bubbling position locally, and then we had the information about Maccabi Tel Aviv and the assessment from the Dutch commanders.
You could have managed that in the way that we've been discussing with the Glasgow Rangers fans and kept in very restricted places, coaches in, not being allowed to go out into the local community. That could have been managed.
That could be managed, absolutely right. And there are a range of options available to all commanders when they are trying to police a range of risks. However, as the Chief has just referenced, the challenge, particularly when we got the information about Maccabi, was that the worry was that the Maccabi fans would target the community. And we saw that in the information intelligence, that we had people purporting to be Maccabi fans online who were goading local community members and saying, this is what you're going to get. So this was all forming part of the heat of the situation. So based on that, the commanders tried to make the right decision. That was reasonable in the circumstances. You've got a very hot community reception. You've got Maccabi Tel Aviv and the Dutch police saying, we feel they actively targeted community members. Those two things together posed a sufficient risk. And
my personal opinion is there wasn't any political interference. I think there would have...
You did meet the MP?
Sorry, did I?
West Midlands Police did meet the local MP?
Yeah.
At their request?
They did, and that was the local MP for the area. Yeah, absolutely. We discussed that last time.
That, by its very nature, is political pressure.
I'm sure, you know, opinion formers of all sides wanted to do their influencing. But from my perspective as Chief, I think your question is absolutely spot on. And my honest personal opinion is that the decision wasn't influenced by politics. Lots of local politicians and local members of the community, I'm sure, wanted to try and influence it, but I honestly don't think it was influenced.
I think we've learned a lot as a force in relation to our engagement with the Jewish community. I think if there is a silver lining in this whole situation, it's the fact that we are working, I think, closer and more strategically with the local Jewish community in the West Midlands. If I talk specifically around the engagement for this particular fixture, subsequent to the announcement at the end of August, from the 3rd of September onwards, West Midlands Police engaged very closely with our local community security trust representative, our CST rep, and that's sort of a tried and tested approach. But I think our learning is that we missed a real opportunity to get closer to our Jewish community sooner in relation to this fixture.